Good morning, Miracle Swingers. I have an incredible video for you today about the straightest hitter in history, Calvin Peete. Now, a lot of people talk about Mo Norman. I know Mo Norman was super straight, but we don't have statistics on Mo Norman. We have them on Calvin Peete. And in 1983, he hit 84% of his fairways. That's like 12% more than anybody nowadays. And he won the Varden Trophy in 1984, and he only had one shot OB in his entire PGA Tour career. I don't think anybody is even close to that. So we are going to break down his golf swing and two incredible things that no golf teachers teach today. The first is the over-the-top miracle swing, and you're going to have to watch the video to see the second thing, because this breakdown is going to blow your mind. Now, if you would like to learn the over-the-top miracle swing, just click on the link below. I am working on the 7 sacred steps of the over-the-top miracle swing, and I'm going to send you step 2 and 4, which are the most important parts of the over-the-top miracle swing. Now, the next MSE Intensive is May 27th and 28th. I would encourage you to come on out to Pasadena for a weekend of fun and great golf. You will have the miracle swing by the end of day 1. Then we're going to drill everything on day 2. I'm going to have a special guest, and we're going to play the Canyon Cup. So this is an event that is transformative and life-changing, and I want you to come on out. It's a super duper great deal. The weather's fantastic. Now let's get into Calvin Peete's amazing golf swing.
Let's talk about my main man, Calvin Peete. 12 tour wins, led the tour in driving accuracy 10 years in a row. 1 year at 84.5%, something absurd like that. One of my all-time favorite stats for Calvin Peete is his entire career on the PGA Tour. He only hit one ball out of bounds. The guy was a machine. People always talk about Mo Norman for being straight. If you lead the PGA Tour in accuracy 10 years in a row, you're pretty darn straight. And the thing that's so crazy is Calvin Peete didn't start playing the game of golf until he was in his early 20s. And by 32, he was on the PGA Tour. Super duper cool. Now, he talks a lot about tempo and rhythm and always keeping the ball in the same place so that the bottom of your swing arc meets the ball consistently. Very, very important tips from Calvin Peete. Now, you'll notice his left arm is oddly bent the way he swings the club. The story is he fell out of a cherry tree as a boy and broke his left arm, and it never got set properly. So Calvin Peete just always played with that short left arm. And that kind of reminds me of some teachings that we get from Jimmy Ballard about a short left arm, keeping the upper arms connected and what have you. But in a moment, we're going to take a look at Calvin Peete's full golf swing, and we're really going to take a look at his pattern, which to me is the inside up and over the top classic swing pattern. And if you add to that a very generous lateral shift, you've got a recipe for great ball striking that almost every single modern teacher says is wrong. Now, there's lots of ways to hit the golf ball. I'm not going to say that one way is better than others, but what I am going to say is this style of swinging the club is worth exploring for yourself. For me personally, I realized it's more efficient and it's easier to reproduce than all the dropping under, shallowing out, no weight transfer stuff that's being taught in general today. But we can see Calvin has this relaxed, easy turn, and he's just one of the greatest golfers ever. So let's take a look at this swing from the front. I think that this is a great one to start with. We can begin to see that generous fall to his lead side, something similar to what Ben Hogan had. And when I was working with Jim McLean, he said that Claude Harmon told him that Ben Hogan had the biggest lateral shift he ever saw. I wonder if Claude told him that before he saw Calvin Peete, because Calvin Peete really gets to his lead side. This is what Gary Player told me is the most important thing in the golf swing, is you must get through the ball. So I put in a couple lines here, and this is just where Calvin Peete is at about P2. I put a box around his head, and I put lines up his legs at his hips. The line on the right side of the screen is a 90-degree angle, just to give you an idea of how far Mr. Peete is going to shift. His head stays still as he gets up to P3, and he's going to reach the top of his swing. And I talk about the power shift, which is the third sacred step of the miracle swing. And we're going to see a generous power shift here from Calvin Peete as he gets to the top. Wow. His head has already moved about 4 or 5 inches ahead of the box. There's very few pro golfers you're going to see with that big a lateral head move. Ben Hogan had a few inches, but we're going to watch Calvin Peete. Now, if we take a look at the folks behind Calvin Peete, we can see a couple gentlemen's heads just off the side of his left hip. But watch how he covers them, how far he falls to his left. That's just incredible. He's completely covered those folks up. So that is a tremendous fall. And I find that it is a great way to leverage the club with your body weight. Now, the funny thing is, a lot of people say, no, you want to stay centered. You don't want to shift your weight that much because it's harder to hit the ball straight. That's kind of silly if you think about Ben Hogan and Calvin Peete, and even Bruce Litsky. I was told by Jim McLean that Bruce Litsky had a huge lateral move, is literally what Jim told me. So here's a huge lateral move, and the result is a straight shot, I'm sure, because Calvin Peete controlled the face. Now look at this. This is where the rubber meets the road, people. Look at that. It's hard to see in full speed, and it's also true that Calvin Peete lays the club off. It's kind of a swing move where he keeps the handle beneath inside the club head. Here he's across the line. This is something I think is perfectly fine. Jack Nicklaus, Bobby Jones, they were all across the line. Tiger Woods in '97 was across the line. I wish he hadn't changed his swing. But look at this OTT move. We're going to follow that handle, and he's pulling the handle down in front of his body. He's turning hard at the same time, by the way. But if we trace this handle, we can see the handle is inside, moving up, and moving out. Now, this shallows that club absolutely beautifully. And look at this. He pulls it around the corner. Okay, that's sacred step number 6. And hits a perfectly straight golf shot. Absolutely incredible. It's just a joy to watch. This is Calvin Peete. This is one of the straightest, greatest golfers in history. He won the 1985 TPC at Sawgrass, and he hit an amazing shot into number 17. He said it was the best shot he ever hit in his life. And it was an 8-iron. Today the guys hit wedges.
By the time I got to the 17th tee, my knees were doing this. So I don't know, I was thinking about the 8-iron hitting the water, but I want to give this to you because I've given this to the kids. Not in the language I might give it to you, but I stepped off to the side of the tee and said, what the hell is wrong with you, man? You've hit this shot 10,000 times. Don't give me, and don't excuse my French, don't give me this. After I finished that sentence, I went to that tee and I did not feel that anymore. And that was the greatest shot of my career.
In turn, the crowd falls absolutely silent. didn't hit a soft one this time. And that's right-handed. What a great stroke.
Calvin Peete wasn't long, but I'll tell you what, he won the Varden Trophy in 1984, lowest stroke average out of everybody. So if you win the Varden Trophy on the PGA Tour, in my book, you are one bad man. Thank you for the years of great golf, Calvin Peete. And guys, I hope this helps you, and I hope you hit them long and hit them straight. Don't forget to go to Miracle Swing Experience, and you can learn the inside over-the-top miracle swing. Until next time, I'll talk to you later.
Trevino, ear, nose, and throat doctor in San Jose. He's 85, and look at him swing.
The fastest way to better golf is simply to learn to swing over the top the correct way. The over-the-top move has been around forever, like Bobby Jones, Sam Snead, and even Ben Hogan. You'll notice they had a little over-the-top move. Just listen to what my students have to say about the over-the-top miracle swing.
I'm feeling elated.
Thank you.
Dude, I love it.
What club is this?
I've received messages from golfers all around the world that my over-the-top swing is truly a miracle.
Yeah, I shot a 72 with Balboa, and it was easy.